Patience Jonathan stands proudly as she receives the Women Icon Leader of the Year award, a testament to her unwavering dedication to advancing women's health and fostering economic development throughout Nigeria. This honor shines a light on her commitment to social issues that resonate deeply within the community. Meanwhile, the economic landscape in Nigeria is experiencing transformation, with various states embarking on ambitious airport projects. Yet, amidst this growth, concerns linger about the financial sustainability of such investments, leading many to wonder what the future holds for aviation in the nation. In a heartwarming display of gratitude and respect, President Bola Tinubu recently celebrated the birthdays of several influential figures, underlining the significance of acknowledging public service and strong leadership. This act reflects a rich cultural tradition in Nigeria, where mentorship and legacy are deeply appreciated. As the conversation unfolds, the need to hear directly from Goodluck Jonathan regarding his political future becomes increasingly pressing. With many Nigerians eager for clarity about his intentions, the prospect of his return to the political arena could dramatically reshape the country's political dynamics. In this evolving landscape, Patience Jonathan's endorsement of Senator Olu Rebi Tinubu signifies the intricate web of political alliances at play. It also highlights the All Progressives Congress's ongoing efforts to project unity among various factions, which could prove pivotal in the upcoming elections. However, as political shifts occur, concerns emerge regarding Nigeria's potential transition towards a one-party state, particularly in light of recent defections from the People's Democratic Party. This situation underscores the critical need for diverse political representation within the governance framework. Expressing unwavering loyalty, Mrs. Jonathan's support for President Tinubu sheds light on the complex nature of political relationships in Nigeria. Such endorsements can significantly sway public perception and influence voter behavior, reminding us of the intricate interplay between politics and personal allegiance. Turning our attention to the state of Nigeria's airports, a pressing issue looms large. Currently, only 2 out of 33 airports are turning a profit, sparking serious questions about the management and investment in this crucial area of infrastructure amid the country's economic challenges. As oil prices remain volatile, the struggle to maintain these airports intensifies, presenting ongoing challenges for Nigeria's aviation sector. Amidst these difficulties, the prospect of implementing concessions emerges as a potential strategy to enhance operations and ensure sustainability. Moreover, the stark disparity in transportation costs reveals the economic struggles faced by everyday Nigerians. What once were affordable fares have escalated dramatically, impacting the daily lives and commuting experiences of countless citizens. In the realm of education, Reuben Fashion emerges as a beacon of hope, demonstrating a profound commitment to societal improvement. His dedicated efforts in training generations of students underscore the crucial role education plays in Nigeria's broader development narrative. As we delve deeper, the political dynamics within the Nifri group lay bare the underlying issues of equity and ethnicity that permeate Nigerian politics. The rift stemming from differing support for Tinubu serves as a reminder of the ongoing tensions that shape political affiliations. Historically, figures like Miriam Babana illustrate how first ladies wield soft power, influencing state decisions and championing philanthropic efforts, especially for women and children. Their contributions often extend well beyond their husbands' administrations, forging a lasting impact on society. In unity, Mama Peace's endorsement encapsulates the importance of collaboration among first ladies within the Nigerian political arena. Their collective influence can drive significant social initiatives and bolster their roles in governance. Navigating the intricate political landscape of Nigeria reveals how long-standing relationships can complicate party affiliations and alliances. A comprehensive understanding of these dynamics is essential for interpreting political maneuvers and anticipating future governance. As the speaker notes, if oil prices stabilize between $50 to $60, there is potential for the naira to maintain a balance around 1,700 to 1,800 naira. This equilibrium is vital for ensuring economic stability within the nation. Furthermore, the central bank has recently stepped up to defend the naira amidst the shifting tides of the global economy, influenced by the policies of the Trump administration. However, questions linger about their ability to sustain this defense in the face of ongoing challenges. To wrap up the discussion, concerns about preparing for a possible depreciation of the naira are brought to light, prompting exploration into various mechanisms being implemented to cushion the impact of fluctuating oil prices.
We begin here at home, of course, as the former First Lady, Patience Jonathan, has ruled out returning to Aso Rock Villa. Instead, she is pledging her support for First Lady Oluremi Tinubu and the present administration. She pledged to campaign alongside Remi Tinubu ahead of the 2027 general elections, citing their long-standing relationship and mutual support during her husband's presidency. She emphasized the importance of rotational leadership for national unity, stating, and I quote, "When it's your turn, I will support you. When it's not your turn, step back so that the country can move forward." End of quote. Patience Jonathan received the Women Icon Leader of the Year award from the Accolade Dynamics Limited in Abuja. She described the award as a recognition of collective efforts in advancing women's health and economic development. Now to economic news. Amidst a growing trend of states across Nigeria investing in airport projects, the Chief Executive Officer of Financial Derivatives Company, Mr. Bismarck Rewane, has pointed out that only 2 of the 33 airports in the country are profitable. The Economist stated this in the May 2025 edition of his Lagos Business School breakfast session titled 100 Days of Chaos or Genius, What a Difference 100 Days Can Make. Commenting on the Nigerian aviation sector, Rewane noted that Nigeria has 33 airports, 13 airstrips, 4 military airfields, and 128 helipads. He declared that many airports are financially unsustainable, necessitating their concession. The outlook, according to him, was that airports stay inefficient and underfunded, resulting in more flight cancellations and reduced frequencies and weakening in the sector's stability. He, however, projected that concessioning plus naira appreciation would ease airfares slightly, attract more investments to the airports, attract investment in the aviation sector, and enhance infrastructure and service quality. Now, finally, President Bola Tinubu has rejoiced with the leader of Afenifere, Pa Rubim Famuyide Fasoranti, on the occasion of his 99th birthday, describing a dependable and graceful model. Tinubu, who said this in a 13-paragraph personal tribute, also congratulated his close friend, confidant, and prominent businessman Chief Dipo Eludoyin on his 77th birthday. At the same time, Tinubu equally felicitated his ally and senator representing Niger East, Mohammed Sani Musa, on his 60th birthday. In the same vein, the Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and the leader of the Senate, Senator Opeyemi Bamidele, have congratulated Pa Fasoranti on his 99th birthday today. However, the president, while eulogizing Pa Fasoranti, has said who he said was undoubtedly one of the rare Nigerians who gave all to public service and served unblemished at every opportunity. He said in his close relationship with Pa Fasoranti, he had been dependable, graceful, and a model of exemplary leadership. Of course, we do join in the nation in celebrating with Pa Fasoranti, Afenifere, and of course, Nigerians at large.
Absolutely.
99 is a real milestone.
A huge milestone, a huge achievement. So huge congratulations to the entire Fasoranti family. I'm sure they're very, very happy to have reached this milestone, and we continue to wish him and his family a very long, healthy, and prosperous life. You know, this weekend was actually full of birthdays, as you read in the lead up there. As a proud Ijebu daughter, I have to say that it was also our King's birthday this weekend. He turned 91 years old, so a huge happy birthday to Obasikiru Kayode Adetono, who is the Awujale of Ijebuland. So huge congratulations and happy birthday to everybody celebrating. Now, to some of the earlier stories that we discussed, if we look at the comments from former First Lady Patience Jonathan, I mean, not to say that women can't speak for her husband, but I do think that many people would also like to hear from Goodluck himself and hear his reasons for him wanting to take a step back from, you know, this entitlement he has to another term in office. I think that if we're looking at Nigerians who aren't in support of the current institution, the current administration we have, perhaps in some circles, the prospect of a new resurgence of Goodluck Jonathan was something that people might have been looking forward to if they are, again, to underscore the importance of an opposition voice. And I think to many people who enjoyed his leadership and would like to see him return to the highest office, this may be a little bit of a disappointment. That being said, it is commendable that Patience Jonathan has come out and thrown her weight behind Senator Tinubu, and of course by extension the president, and it just shows that the All Progressives Congress has continued to be able to reach out throughout different political parties, different political stratospheres, and really exemplify the unity that it says that it's going to have. So if this is renewed hope in action, all people can really do is sit back and see what that's actually going to look like. Now, when we're looking at the fears and the criticism that we're hearing when it comes to Nigeria dangerously becoming a one-party state, I was listening to Daybreak earlier and watching their newspaper review. And the gentleman that they had said that he doesn't actually believe that it's possible for Nigeria to become a one-party state because he feels as though the country in terms of population is too big, that there's too much diversity in terms of what people want in order for that to happen. But I do think that it is quite a legitimate concern that we are seeing so many defections from the People's Democratic Party, so many people coming out quite early in 2025 to throw their weight behind this current administration. On the one hand, as I said, it is an example of unity and belief in this presidency, but it is also dangerously moving closer to a one-party state.
Okay, 3 topics in one package. First, let me start with Mama Peace, that Dame Patience Jonathan, saying that President Jonathan is not going to run, is not interested in running in the 2027 presidential election, and that she herself has no reason to want to go back to the villa. This was on the occasion of an award she was being given by Accolade Dynamics, nominating her, identifying her as an icon, women icon, as an icon, representing women in the year 2025. Now, a number of things. One is that there's been a lot of pressure on President Jonathan to run again. It happened in 2023. There was even a group from the northern part of the country that went to pay 100 million naira to obtain a nomination expression of interest form on his behalf. He was not the one that did it. But eventually, he wasn't part of that 2023 process. Now, in 2027 again, people already say, oh, President Tinubu, the main opposition he can have that will be effective will be for President Jonathan to come back. And I'm sure there must be groups trying to persuade him. But the first, sign of clarity that we'll be receiving will be from, his wife, former First Lady, Dame Patience Jonathan, saying that, look, she's not going back there. And, there's nothing that is there. And the politics in Nigeria is turn by turn. When it is your turn, you should be allowed, to do it. Now, you may have many, things to argue about this turn-by-turn politics. But that's the reality of Nigerian politics. This is turn by turn. Now, however, one will expect to hear from President Jonathan himself. Because in politics, things happen. We still have the election two years away from now. So would President Jonathan himself come out to clarify, and that would be the strongest clarification that you can get. Because Mrs. Jonathan bases her loyalty to President Tinubu. She even says she will come out to campaign for him because she and Mrs. Remi Tinubu, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, that they are friends and that she cannot be part of any ploy to remove her friend's husband from office. So that's an expression of loyalty, and that both President Tinubu and Senator Oluremi Tinubu have been very supportive of the Jonathan family. She even included the Yaloja General of Nigeria, Mrs. Ujo, that President Tinubu's daughter, to say that, look, don't worry yourself. When it is time, call on me. I will come out and join you to campaign for your father. At a time when, there are many people out there who are saying they want President Tinubu and the APC removed from office. Mrs. Jonathan's statement is an expression of very strong support and an endorsement of the Tinubu presidency. And, that's the context in which I see it, about loyalty, about friendship, about quid pro quo. You rub my back, I rub your back. But as I said, 2 years in politics is a long stretch. Anything can happen. Suppose President Jonathan comes up next year and he says, well, due to pressure from all sources, I think I'm interested in this thing. Anything can happen. But for now, this is the state of play. Now, the other story is about Mr. Bismarck Rewane, very distinguished economist, saying that, look, out of the 33 airports that we have in this country, only 2 are profitable. The remaining ones are grossly underutilized. They are inefficient. Well, the thing speaks for itself. If you go to many of our airports, many of those airports have been set up just as prestige projects. Every governor looking for something to do as part of legacy wants to set up an airport. In fact, some states that are just contiguous these days, they establish airports, and those airports, are not properly maintained. And Mr. Rewane was pointing out that at a time when oil price is going down, fluctuating like a yo-yo, and may go down below $50 per barrel, there will be foreign exchange problems. Who is going to maintain those airports? And then he recommends that maybe concessioning would help to address the problem of airfares going up. Airfares, even at this moment, have gone up. And it's very difficult to travel by air in Nigeria. You go to Abuja and back, you pay close to $1 million. That's if you travel business class, that is. I don't know what they pay in economy class these days. But I'm saying is very, yes. If you go business class, you must have close to $1 million naira. Now, something that people used to go up and down in this country at a time, 50 naira to go back and forth from Calabar. In fact, it was actually 42 naira. 42 naira. If you have luggage, the thing will go up to 50 naira, 60 naira. Now people are paying up to $1 million just to move about inside the country. So he has a point there about the economic reality and the hardship that people face and the white elephant projects that many of these state governments engage in. But anyway, the third issue is about Pa Reuben Fashoranti at 99. Pa Reuben Fashoranti's main contribution is in the area of education. He served as an educationist, as a proprietor of schools, and helped to train and produce many generations of Nigerian students. He was an Aoist, one of the loyalists of the late stage, Chief Obafemi Awolowo. He was very active in the Unity Party of Nigeria, and since the death of Pa Jasin, Pa Abraham Adesanya, he's been leader of the Afenifere section. And in that regard, he has shown a lot of commitment to public good. He was one of those, courageous persons who led the protest against military rule under the umbrella of the National Democratic Coalition, and that is NADECO. And even in old age, he has remained very committed to Aoist ideals and the cause of progressive politics. Now, the special thing about him now, in relation to the Tinubu administration, was that as leader of Afenifere, he endorsed President Tinubu for the presidency. Now, that caused a rift within the Afenifere group because Pa Adebanjo, now of blessed memory, led a different group that thought that, look, on the basis of equity, fairness, and justice, the Afenifere should not be used to play the politics of ethnicity or, nepotism and say, oh, we're supporting Tinubu because he's from the Southwest. So that produced two tendencies within the same political family. But as to the fact that Fashoranti, even in old age, has remained very consistent in leading the group, again, he is another person who has supported the Tinubu administration. And President Tinubu writing a long eulogy, and Governor Sanwo-Olu also backing it up, where it's understandable. One good turn, right, deserves another. But beyond that, on his own, as a person, Fashoranti is one of those devoted, committed, persons who, even with the gift of longevity, continue to serve this country. We lost two of them recently, Pa Edwin Clark. We lost Pa Ayo Adebanjo. So he remains one of the last of those resourceful persons at a time in this country where people think mostly of their stomachs. Some people still stand for something, for values, for ideals. And Fashoranti is one of them. So he deserves to be celebrated, in my view. Congratulations, sir. Happy birthday. Many happy returns. It would be wrong to ask a 99-year-old man for implications.
We're supposed to declare implications for him. All right. Well, I'll begin with Mama Peace, because so many things came to mind when I read this news, when I heard the news, and I went through her statements. But the first thing that came to mind is that I thought to myself, we really do tend to underestimate the soft power that's wielded by Nigeria's first ladies. Going back into history, if you look at the likes of Miriam Babangida and how she was instrumental in ensuring that Asaba became the capital of Delta State, and the influence she had over the South during her husband's tenure, and not to mention, of course, globally, how she was celebrated for her philanthropy and the impact of her Better Life for Rural Women project in Nigeria, which continues to be a beacon. I also thought of Stella Obasanjo and her various advocacies and projects. Even Turai Yaradua, who was said to have been more quiet and behind the scenes. She wasn't as visible, but was reported as being extremely influential, especially when it came to some of the cabinet picks and appointments that took place. So for me, it was just a staunch reminder that our first, and of course our current First Lady as well, who is a former senator in her own right. Now, it was just a stark reminder of the fact that the office of the First Lady, though, yes, it may be unconstitutional and unofficial, wields a lot of power, and those who choose to make good use of it are able to support their husband's administration in winning the hearts and playing strategically in certain areas. So we see in this a former First Lady giving her endorsement to a First Lady. And what is the basis of it? The basis of it is that she says we are from the same groups. So that's another reminder that in Nigerian politics, yes, we tend to criticize when one person moves from another party to the other party, but the essence of it is that there are long-standing, pre-existing relationships in the political circles that also play towards the dynamics of how our politics shape up. So to some of us at home, it may come across as though, oh, this one is hopping from this place to that place and so forth. But the honest truth is that there are some deep relationships that have been built over time. And those are also factors that one always has to ensure that they consider when trying to analyze the political sphere and trying to see where things can go next. So again, like Dr. Abati said, 2 years in politics is an extremely long time. In fact, 24 hours in politics is a long time. So yes, we've heard from Mama Peace, but it will continue to be an interesting journey to see as things unravel. However, what many people might be asking now is, what is the fate of the Bayelsa State Governor? Because we see the movements that have been taking place in the South, in the Niger Delta region, and those governors who have moved to the APC, those who have pledged their allegiance to this current administration. And of course, Governor Duye Diri remains the PDP governor in that region who is yet to really tell us where he stands. So it will be interesting to see where Bielsa stands and of course where the former president himself stands in the bigger scheme of things. I'll touch on economics news very quickly with some revelations from the celebrated economist Bismarck Rewane and some of the revelations he made around the airports in Nigeria. Of course, we've unpacked the issue of airports here in Nigeria and how underutilized they are, new ones constantly being commissioned, and we're not sure what their purpose beyond vanity is. However, there's a part of his speech that also stood out to me, which is that he gave his own projections of where he thinks the exchange rate of the naira can go given the moves in oil price. So in essence, his projections are that if oil falls below 50,000, then we're going to be looking at a naira depreciation that sits us at $1,850, excuse me. Then that will give us an exchange rate that sits us from 1,800 to 1,900 naira. Similarly, he says if oil continues to play between $50 to $60 around that price mark, then we're looking at a naira of about 1,700 to 1,800. And well, the best case scenario is, of course, if we see a dollar price of oil around the $75 mark, then we should be able to break even. So ultimately, what is this saying? Yes, we've seen the central bank come forth to defend in recent times when the most recent developments were made from the Donald Trump administration. But the question is, how long can the CBN defend for? Should we start preparing for a naira depreciation? And what are some of the mechanisms that are being put into place to ensure that the naira doesn't get impacted by extreme shock from the fluctuations in the global oil price?